Just a second. There's so many files I'm working on. Here we go. There's system one. Looks good. You can see it, right? Anybody confirm, please?
Yes, I can see.
Great. Okay. So this is what we're working on.
Yes.
Project 2. And this is not from the textbook, but I adapted it from different sources. It's more of using VLOOKUP if function in a kind of combination. Okay. So what we have is soybean farm. They're trying to kind of measure, they're trying to test the sample of their crops. They are, growing soybean for a particular area, but they want to sample it, see how many seeds, or what kind of harvest they're going to get at the end of testing. So they don't want to test the entire area, but only sample area. So that's what we're working on. So out of total acre, they have like 72 acres, and specific area they have assigned to as a sample plot. So we'll, add those area. Then we're gonna count number of seeds, and then eventually we're gonna find how many pounds. Then we're gonna calculate the price of that harvest. So that's what we're gonna work on first. Then we're gonna go to the second worksheet, which is growth. So this is what we are kind of investigate, or we are looking at what kind of temperature we need to get those soybean, harvest in the right temperature. So this is a little bit complex function. They have it. This is again is based on the historical calculation. They have it. So we don't have to worry about this formula. For example, this is what they call crop heat to get, to make this soybean, produce in the right way. So this is what the formula they developed. So that's what we're going to apply into those cells. And finally, by which date the right temperature comes in, so that we can be harvest. So we can estimate basically harvest date using this data set. So it sounds a little bit, complex, but we'll get there. So first one, yield. So starting from column B, so I'm going to follow the directions out of this instruction worksheet. So just bear with me just a second. I'm going to go back and forth. So here we go. Okay, then B7, we're going to enter four, then 7.5, there's the width. Length is 21 inch. I'm just following the directions. Then we go down to B14, that's 400. Pots. How many seeds per pot? We have 2.5 soybean seeds. 2.5. The rest of it, we're going to calculate based on the directions. Okay, so I'm going to skip those style. We need to use a cell style, but I'm going to skip because that's only formatting. Okay, so step 7, B10, calculate the area, plot, sample in inches, B10. So what's the sample area given those three variables? So all we do is just multiply them. So that it'll give us total sample area, which is 630 square inch. Then B11, So we're going to convert it into acre. So we're going to take that inch we just calculated and divide by B4, which is the number of inches in acre. So basically we need to divide by. So I'll take that. Wait a minute, did I do B16? Oh, B10, no, B11 actually. Sorry, B11 equals sample area divided by H4 right there. So that'll give us acres, right? Because 600 is 0.0001 acre. Then B16, total number of seeds multiplied. All right. Then B17, pounds. So we take that B16 divided by this time B5, H5. Where is H5? Right there. So that'll give us 0.33 pounds. Okay, here's the formula view, if you're wondering. Okay, next, a bushel, so that we can convert how many bushels for their pounds, number of pounds we have. So this is what B18. B18, we're going to take that divided by H16 this time. Take a number of pounds divided by H6, not 16, which is pound of soybean in bushel, which is 0.005 bushel. Estimated bushel per acre, which is B19. So take that B18, then again divide by plus sample, I believe. That's what we're gonna, which is area in acre, right? So that's our sample. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. Take that number of bushel divided by area in acre. So that'll give us 55 bushels. Okay. So that's the sample area in acre. Then that's the how many bushels. So you need to divide by. All right. Then historic average. So this is the historic average column E, right? Those numbers indicate historic average for soybean yield. What's the unit? Is it bushel, I believe, or pound? I think it's pound. Anyway, so we're going to find average out of column E. So here we go, average out of column E. However, I think there's something else going here. It says that use round function to round this average to nearest integer. So no decimal places, right? So we're going to insert round function in front, then because there's no decimal places, you have to give a 0 at the end, just like that, right? So that will give us integer number. Then historic median out of the, again, soybean yield. Now we're going to just use the median for column E. So that's what we got so far. Okay. What about the rest of it? We're going to do B24. Yeah, we're going to do the B24. So B24 is going to be multiply bushel per acre, which is B18, right? Divided by total number of acres. So that's what we're going to do. Total yields, not actually, let's go back. I don't think it's a division. It says multiply. Yeah, we need to multiply. No wonder. Out of B4, right? Let's think about it. That's the estimated bushel, but we have entire area 72 acres. So that's why we are multiplying, not the sample, but entire acre, okay, which will be much larger, 3,982. Okay. What about total avenue estimated? So we have dollar amount is given per bushel. So you multiply by that, then we'll have the revenue. All right, so that's what we're going to have. Any questions so far? So I'm just trying to follow the directions. All right, so can you move on?
Yes.
Great. Next, growth. So this is where we're going to calculate the temperature and, you know, whether harvest is ready or not. So let's move on to next step, which is step. Oh, there's one step that I forgot to do, which is step 10. Yeah, step 10, using goal seek. That's under data tab and what if analysis and goal seek. Okay, so what we're trying to do is we're trying to see how changing this total revenue, for example, and affect number of soybean total soybean crop area. So that's those are the two things that we're trying to see how this thing will affect each other. Okay, the acres and total revenue according to the direction. Let's confirm that's the case. It's B4 and revenue. Yeah, it is right. B4 and revenue, those two. So how we're going to do is go to again data tab, what if analysis from the toolbar. I'm going to click goal seek so that it pops up. It's very tiny, but we have 3 boxes in goal seek. So set goal will be B25, which is revenue. So our goal is 40,000. Right now is 35,000. So what if we get 40,000 revenue? Then what's gonna happen to total soybean crop? In other words, to get $40,000 revenue, how much area you have to assign to in terms of acres. So that's B25, 40,000. The last box right here, by changing cell, you need to click B4 so that the acres will be displayed once you click OK. Once you click OK, right now total soybean crop is 72 acres. Okay, by changing to 40,000 and see what happens. I'm going to click OK and see, as you can see, 81.52 acres need to be devoted to soybean to get $40,000 revenue. All right, so that was step 10. Then we're going to move to growth, and there's a few steps to follow. First of all, B5, you're going to enter current date, and then we're going to go to column D, enter day, starting from day 1, and we're going to increase by 1 day each all the way to 112 days. Okay. Then next step is CHU. That's the crop heat unit. It's kind of what they developed. So basically that's the temperature, I believe. Because here's a thing, okay? So to make this soybean harvest in the right temperature, so the minimum temperature you have to maintain is 50. Maximum temperature is 75. So it must be between these two numbers. If it's go below 50, you're going to have a big problem, right? Your harvest will be failed somewhat. Same thing. If you go over 78 degree, that's no good too. I wonder this is really true, but that's how they come up with. So that's what we're going to play with. And CHU, that's what they developed. So we're going to apply this formula, which is given. So CHU is minimum plus maximum divided by 2 minus base temperature. Base temperature again is given. So that's what we're going to follow. So what's that? Minimum, right? So equals minimum of E5 between E5 and M8. Why? Because it's the minimum temperature. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to establish temperature so that it does go below 50. That's why I think we need to start from max, is it not? Let's go back. What it was max. Yeah, max. So that should be max. Between that and, I'm sorry, and that. So you need to pick up whichever is bigger between these two numbers, daily low, which is given, and the minimum temperature that you're supposed not go below, right? So if it's 45, that's no good. 44 is below minimum. So you need to pick up 50 instead. So that's what we are doing here, okay? To make this temperature right, okay? So that we can kind of estimate when it's gonna happen. Plus minimum of F5 or M9. So what we are doing, so that it does not go over 78. 68 is good. 78, 68, so it's going to pick up 68. Because there's a minimum between those two numbers. Okay. Then I think we need to divide by 2. So I'm going to give a parenthesis by 2 minus base temperature, which is M7. So that's the formula for that CHU, which is given. I think either way is fine. I started with T max instead of minimum, but that's the same thing. And I need to be careful with the absolute cell reference because again, like M5, M6 must be fixed. So I'm going to give a dollar sign to M5, M6, M8, M9. M8, M9, is that right? Yeah, M8, M9. And also base temperature is M7 dollar sign so that I can autofill all the way down. All right. See what happens. There you go. 911.5 went all the way. Okay. Right? Any question about this? I think this can be a little bit confusing because again, we're using max between two numbers. So we want to make sure this temperature does not go below and also does not go over maximum temperature, which is 78. Then divide by 2. Again, you don't have to worry about why divide by 2, because again, that's how they come up with. All right, cumulative CHU. So now this time we're going to find the cumulative CHU, which is this value. Let's keep adding it. So I can just write it down right away, which is G5 to G5. Then I can give it first one absolute cell reference so that it can change to G5, G6, G5, G7, and so forth, just like that. Right? So now we found cumulative CHU value. Then next thing we're going to do is, where are we? G5, okay. Then we had that. We're going to go to B9. So we're going to type it in 5/12/2017. So now we're going to work on here. B9. 5/12/2017. By the way, this is kind of old data, which is 2017. And next, we're going to go to J6. So we kind of go back and forth between J6. Okay. Now we're going to use this date. So we're going to refer J6 to B9. Just copy over. This is J6. Same as the starting date. Then we're going to increase by 1. Take that and adding 1. So that number will grow by 1 day all the way down. Okay. Next step is B8. Go to B8. We're going to type M070. So that particular item soybean type. There are different types. So we're going to pick up a particular type here so that we can find the right number for the CHU. Okay. So we are choosing M07. So the cumulative CHU must be 1930 to get harvest. Okay. So that's what we are doing. Now B10. B10 is we're going to use the VLOOKUP. So we're going to use the VLOOKUP to retrieve that value, the cumulative CHU. So we are using again M070, and out of this area, okay, comma, column index number is 2, which is the second column, comma, false. So 1930, which is just exactly same value from M19. So rather than we just copy it, we use a VLOOKUP here. Okay. The next tab is I5. So we're going to go back again, I5 this time. So we are filling out column I. So here what we're trying to do is we're trying to show whether this harvest is ready or not based on the CH value we just found, right? So the way we're going to enter is if function. So H5 is greater than B10, meaning this number, the cumulative CHU is greater than the CHU harvest temperature, which is found from this table, then it's ready, right? Because it's higher. If it's not higher, meaning less than or equal to, it's not ready. So that's what we're trying to do. So B10 versus H5. So if H5 is greater than B10, then it's ready. So we're going to just type it as ready with a double quotes, comma, meaning otherwise. B5 is less than or equals to B10, H5. H5 is less than or equals to B10. We'll say not ready. Okay, so just don't forget about double quotes. There you go. So it's going to say not ready until it reaches 1930. So, well, I'm going to just autofill all the way down. So I see that, oh, oops, it's ready already. I think I made a mistake somewhere. Let's go check. It's too early saying ready already. Oh, okay. I forgot about the absolute reference for B10. Must be B10 always, right? So I'm going to just apply it again. There you go. So not ready all the way down to some, like a 90 some days later. Okay. So we found the first harvest day, which is 96 days. Okay. Based on those two temperatures. So next step is we're going to do B11 and B12. So B11 is kind of tricky. Now we're going to show the actual date located in J, right? When column I says ready. That's what we're looking for, right? When I 100 says ready, then we're going to show the date. So we're going to have to use I and J. Okay, what's the value? The word already. So it's a little different from other VLOOKUP. So the way we're going to approach is equals VLOOKUP. Then we're going to identify the value that we are looking for is ready with the double quotes, right? So that's what we're looking for, right? Where? In the column I and J. So I'm going to either highlight or we can just type it in I and J. I to J, just like that, right? So that Excel will look for those two columns, comma. Then the column we're going to retrieve is number 2, right? The second column. So we're going to type number 2, then false, because again, this is the exact match, one-to-one match. So false at the end. And there you go. So the date is going to return when column I says ready. The first date actually says ready is August 15. So you want to think about this one, B11, was a little different from other VLOOKUP. We can also use the if function. For example, if I equals to ready I5, okay, we cannot apply to entire column. I think there's a way to do it. We can do it nested if. Well, I think that's too much stretch. So let's move on to next, which is B12. Now, how many days it took from planting date to harvest? So difference between those two dates. Okay, B11, B9. So we're going to just subtract it. Subtract planting date from harvest date. Then it'll give us number of days to get harvest. 95 days. I think that's it. B12 is the last one. So as you can see, this is kind of interesting. You know, you just going through all those calculations for soybean plot and then revenue and all that. Then you're going through temperature to find the cumulative CHU. So hopefully it make a little bit sense for you guys, but this may not be really realistic for everyday use, but you know, if you're going into some, if you're going into the field, they're doing some very sophisticated and very much professional use. They do this kind of work a lot using VLOOKUP if function and set up multiple worksheets. So, any question? Anybody have any question at all?
No.
No questions.
All right.
Questions?
Sure. Go ahead.
I said no
Oh,
questions.
okay. No question. I'm sorry. Yeah.
That's
All right.
fine.
So then that's it. We'll see you next time. Okay.
Thank you.
Have
All
a
right.
good night. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good night. Thank